iweze kufanikiwa haraka. Haitawezekana kama tutaendelea na siasa ya zamani ya kubishana siku zote. Demokrasia inakubalia wananchi kubishana ama kutofautiana wakati wa uchaguzi. Wakati wa uchaguzi ukiisha, nchi zote ambazo zimepiga hatua ya maendeleo, wananchi wote wanaweka siasa, campaign, mabishano kando, wote wanaanza kuongea mambo ya maendeleo ya taifa. Because when a government comes to office, that government is the government of the Republic of Kenya. It can be a Kenya Kwanza administration, but it is the government of Kenya as a republic. Kweli si kweli? The administration is a Ruto administration, it's a Kenya Kwanza administration, but the government is the government of the Republic of Kenya. So we are maturing as a democracy because through President Ruto and Prime Minister Raila Odinga, who is now going to become the next head of the African continental body, the African Union Commission, by the grace of God next month. Between the two leaders and all of us in their teams, we have agreed it is true we competed, but the competition is over. And there is a government now. And this government must serve all the people of Kenya equally. Doesn't matter how one part of the country voted. It doesn't matter how a particular citizen voted. They do not have another government. And the government is not partisan. Government is for the republic. And when it is time for campaigns again, we are free to convince each other to see whether we can work as a team or whatever during the campaigns. But right now, in between, we must all pull together. That's why this meeting is like this. Sasa mahali tumefika, tungetaka tutathmini yale maswala ambayo ni ya kipaumbele kwa ajili ya wananchi wa Taita Taveta kwa ujumla. Mkutano huu sio wa siasa. Huu sio mkutano wa kusema nani atakuwa mbunge, nani atakuwa MCA, nani atakuwa governor, woman rep. This is not a meeting. This is a meeting about how to take Taita Taveta forward. There is work which is being done by the county government, but a lot of work also is being done by the national government. So with the two levels of government must work together. All leaders must work together. And as a way of involving the people, that's why we have this team here. We have agreed when we consulted with your leaders, and that's why we took a bit of time consulting, that we'll have even a bigger and more participatory meeting. This time not in Nairobi, but in Taita Taveta County, where we have more people. Here maybe we are just over 500, almost 600 people. We can have a bigger meeting of even 5,000. Just to plan, to track, to review, and also to input into what government and all of us in authority are doing to make sure that the citizens of Kenya get a better life. President Ruto has spent the last 2 years working on the foundation of a stronger economy. When he assumed office, we had very serious foundational challenges, economic foundational challenges. And many people mistake when we say so and they think we are blaming the previous administration. That is not true. At the point where President Uhuru was leaving, we had just come out of one of the biggest pandemics in the history of mankind, called COVID-19, where for more than a year and a half, the whole economy was shut down. Nobody was working. People were staying at home. There was no productivity. And all the resources of the country were diverted to save our lives as human beings. True or false? So because of COVID and other global issues of that time, that's why by the time President Ruto took over, high inflation, weak Kenya currency, high interest rates, and all the foundational problems that we've been dealing with in the last 2 years, led by President Ruto. By the grace of God, that macroeconomic stability has been provided. Interest rates now are coming down. Last year alone, interest rates have come down. The CBK rate has come down from 15.4% to now 11.25%. What that means to a local businessman in Mwatate or Wundanyi or Taveta or Voi is that today, banks which were not lending to businesses, more business people now can access credit, because when the central bank rate was high, all banks were only giving credit to government by buying government securities. But because the rate is not very attractive now, they have now to start looking for businesses to lend money. So that's how you stimulate the economy, through interest rates. I'll give you another example, because when we talk about dollars and how the dollar stabilized, somebody somewhere there in Taveta or Mwatate asks, what is the connection between the dollar and me in Mwatate here? I'll tell you the connection. The people, many of the things we use at home, even in the rural areas, are imported. The people who import these things they have to convert Kenya shillings into dollars to be able to import, because you can't buy using Kenya shillings from China and from America and other countries. So the people who import that mali that is sold in the hardwares and the places, in the markets at home in Taita Taveta, they import those products. If the shilling is weak, if the Kenya shilling is weak, you will need more shillings per dollar, meaning you spend more money to import one container. And that means the price that product will be sold to the local person eventually will be higher, because the shilling is weak. You need more shillings per dollar. You need more shillings per container. And therefore, you pass that to the person buying that product in the local shopping center. If the shilling is strong, as it is now, it's getting stronger, you need less amount of shillings per dollar to exchange to get dollars. Per container, you use less money, and therefore the price of that commodity at that local shopping center will be low. Sijui kama tunaelewana. So hii mambo ya dola na interest rates sio mambo ya huko, ni mambo yetu sisi wananchi hapa chini. And President Kibaki used 5 years to deal with the macroeconomic stability after the presidency of Daniel Arap Moi. President Uhuru used 5 years to deal with macroeconomic issues which had arisen. President Ruto has used 2 years to deal with the macroeconomic stability. The work that remains in the next 2.5, 3 years now is now microeconomic growth, incomes at household level, revitalizing sectors that majority of wananchi drive their livelihood from so that they can have money in the pocket. What are those sectors? Agriculture, livestock development, issues to do with livestock, issues to do with fishing and the blue economy, issues to do with mining, isn't it? 90% of the people of Kenya, other rural areas, you do a scan. Much of their income and livelihood comes from agriculture or livestock or blue economy or fishing or mining. So that is what is happening now. Improving household incomes, empowering communities, and then job creation. Job creation also adds incomes to families. We are creating jobs locally through the affordable housing program. We are creating jobs locally through the digital jobs that are coming with the ICT hubs that we are constructing, about 1,400. We have already done 272. And we want to accelerate that program, including ICT hubs in Taita, Taveta. But we are also creating jobs abroad for our young people who want to go and work abroad. And please, there is nothing wrong with labor mobility. It is foolish to say our children, our young people who get jobs abroad should not go and do them. That is awkward. We are not exporting our people. Neither are we assisting them to migrate to other countries. We are just sending them to go and work, save, invest here, and after some time when they have made good money, they are always welcome to come back home, isn't it? There are many people who are born in Taita Taveta, but they work in Nairobi. Are they not still sons and daughters of Taita Taveta? Are they not still sons and daughters of Taita Taveta? Yeah, and they go home every Friday or every 2 weeks or every end of month. What is the difference between the person from Taita Taveta working in Nairobi and the one who has got a job in Dubai? There's no difference. They're just working. Those are workstations. In fact, it takes 5 hours for the person in Dubai to reach Kenya. It takes longer time for the person working in Nairobi, if they are going by road, to reach Taita Taveta, if they are going home, isn't it? The world has changed. Let our children go and work, invest, save, and they are always welcome to come back home. So we are creating jobs. We are revitalizing sectors of the economy that have the greatest impact, the greatest number of people. We are also addressing macroeconomic stability to ensure businesses get affordable credit, and that's what will empower the community. That is the vision of President Ruto. So we came here today for one simple reason. As you are aware, I'm the principal assistant of the president. We cannot expect the president to be alone in running government. That's why there's a deputy president, there are ministers, there are PSs, there are other people. So part of my work is to assist the president to make sure that we stay on course on the development agenda of the country. Yeah? All corners of Kenya. So he's in Western today. I was with him the last 3 days, but he has allowed me to come and meet with you so that I support him. As he handles Western, I'm also meeting the people of Taita Taveta to discuss their development. That way, we will achieve a faster development. So that's why we are here. And the way we will do today's sitting, because I know you came a bit early, although I want to apologize. We had said you come from 10:30, so that we settle from 11:30, but I think there was a communication breakdown. I take responsibility on behalf of my office. And next time we'll plan better. So what we are going to do today, we are not going to discuss everything today. We are going to proceed as follows. Each constituency will retreat somewhere with your MP. Somewhere. Hii compound ni kubwa. Tafuta kona fulani, mkae hapo museme, kwa history yote ya manifesto, ya nini, ya broad-based, ya ile mambo rais ameahidi, for Taveta or Wundanyi or Mwatate or Voi, for us, these are the key things. They should not be more than 5 things. Forget about the cross-cutting issues, like the Savo issue is cross-cutting maybe to almost the entire county. But you can still repeat it and say for us, mambo ya Savo, ile mambo ya revenue sharing, mambo ya wildlife human conflict. And then we have 2 critical roads. The government will do so many roads. Don't worry. And already that is in progress. But I want to hear it from you, that for us, if you do for us this road, we as a constituency, and some of the roads are cross-cutting. Kuna kama ile ya ring road, it's cross-cutting. So almost every of the constituencies except Taveta, I think, will mention that road. Then for Taveta, I was there, the president was there. There is even a road he has said by end of this month, early next month, ataleta contractor. Si ndio? Si namna hiyo? Ile ya Taveta, si tulikuwa hapo 2 weeks ago hapo. Taveta, Chala, Njukini, Rombo, Ilasit. 66 kilometers. So let's not repeat ourselves. Uzeme tu Taita Taveta, sisi watu ya Taveta, this road, and maybe there was a ranch issue there, some whatever, then some water issue, not more than 5 per constituency. It will be recorded as proceedings of this meeting. So when we come back, and that consultation should not take more than 15 minutes. 15 minutes, we know the issues. After 15 minutes, we have plenary. In the plenary, when we come, I will sit here with my notebook, and there's somebody else from my office also recording. So what we do, we'll say, Taveta, these are the 5 major priorities. Voi, the same. Wundanyi, the same. Mwatate, the same. And the person to present will be chosen at the constituency level and should not be the MP. Sababu MP tuko na yeye huko kila siku. Huyu Bwire, daily. Mama Aika, daily. Huyu Shake, daily. Governor, we talk every day. So, hakuna haja sasa tuanze hapa sasa tena, tukifika hapa, ati mwenye kusema ni Shake. Tafuta mtu yako hapo moja wewe, so long as there is consensus, so that we own these things as many of us as possible. Now the person who will present will have between 3 minutes and 5 minutes. Kusema the 5 priority issues. Na ikiisha 3 or 5 minutes maximum, na gonga kengele, ama microphone inakuwa switched off. Tukimaliza those presentations, I will just ask the leaders just to say jambo, and then we finish. And there will be lunch here. So tukimaliza, there is lunch. And after that, mutaambiwa vile mutaenda nyumbani, so that I can also go and meet delegations from other counties. Is that a good roadmap? Is that a good roadmap? So before we break for the 15 minutes, and I forgot to mention our mzee there, my elder brother, PS Moisaka. I see he's part of this team. The former PS Philemon Moisaka is with us, and we appreciate you for what you continue to do for the country, and all the other leaders. I may not have mentioned everybody. So before we go there, I want to ask the leader of the majority, because most of the things will require parliamentary support. Okay? Like the things we are doing, Savo, kuna mambo hapo ya bunge. Number 2, many of the issues we want to do for Taita Taveta require budget. Si ndio? So mwenye kusukuma hiyo maneno ni kiongozi wa wengi. Rais akishamaliza na maneno yake, mzigo inawekelewa huyo mtu. Wachana hata na chairman ya budget. Huyo chairman ni mtu mdogo, ni kama assistant chief na county commissioner. Sasa county commissioner ni Kimani Ichung'wah. Kuja usalamia hao watu na uambie vile utawaunga mkono, you'll support their development agenda. And before I cede the mic to Kimani for just 5 minutes, then we break. and then the leaders will greet us at the end after the presentations. Si sasa tuko broad-based? Si tuko broad-based sasa? Si rais na ule mzee ndugu yetu sasa they are together? Si huyo ndugu yetu anaenda kuongoza African Union, the whole continent. Ile kura itapigwa Addis Ababa. Kura ya kwanza itakuwa ya nani? Si ni ya William Ruto? Kura ile itapigwa, ni nyinyi mtaenda kupiga kura? Wapi watu ya ODM? Nyinyi ndio mtaenda kupiga Addis Ababa? The first vote ni ya nani? Na Ruto, President Ruto akishapiga kura, mobilize the other heads of state and government, his peers, to vote for our candidates. Naona maana ya umoja. Yeah, tungeweka kisirani, even if Prime Minister Raila Odinga wanted to be AU chairman after the election results, tungeweka kisirani, singekuwa lose-lose. Kenya loses and our candidate loses. But because of patriotism and loving country more than self, this rapprochement is helping us now to realize a very important objective. Na chief campaigner, chief agent, atakuwa Kimani Ichung'wah. Mimi nilikuwa chief agent wa William Ruto. Sasa chief agent wa mzee Raila, Addis Ababa. Kimani tutamtuma huko 1 week before. Kwenda kuangalia hakuna maneno huko, and he will leave 1 week after our candidate is sworn in. So so we are now broad-based. Let's start communicating the broad-based development agenda for Kenya. Usiachie tu Haika kwa sababu ni mtu ya UDA peke yake and the other UDA person. We are now one team, Team Kenya, isn't it? So mambo ya vile government inasaidia, mambo ya barabara, mambo ya savo, mambo ya madini, let us all do it together, because many of the problems we are having with wananchi is because they don't know what is happening. Alafu wanadanganywa kwa mtandao hapo by somebody who is abroad. Mtu amekaa kwa computer abroad, anasema Taita Taveta kuna kitu inaendelea. Wananchi wanaangalia kwa mtandao, wanakubali. Why? Because the MCA has not told them what's happening. And because now we are one, every person here is an ambassador of the broad-based arrangement and the broad-based agenda. Kweli ama si kweli? Ni kweli ama si kweli? Leader of majority, kuja usalamia watu.